Let's be honest. You want to rent a car from someone who'll see you right. So here's a few reasons to put Omega Rental Cars top of your list. Do we have a modern fleet, all fully checked and ready to roll?
Yes, we do.
Do we offer keen prices? Let's be honest. You want to rent a car from someone who'll see you right. So here's a few reasons to put Omega Rental Cars top of your list. Do we have a modern fleet, all fully checked and ready to roll?
Yes, we do.
Do we offer keen prices, unlimited Ks, and free additional drivers?
Yes, you do.
And do we support New Zealand motorsport because we love cars? And maybe to look a bit flash.
Yes, you do.
There you go. Omega Rental Cars, your upfront and honest car rental company.
Good afternoon, welcome to live coverage of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship as we head into the afternoon stages. Manawahe Power Stage. Blair Bartels joining me in commentary, and BB, we have seen an action-packed day so far and a lot of interest in the fight behind Hayden Padden, who has control of the rally, but that chasing pack and the championship implications, it's absolutely on a knife edge.
Absolutely, it is going to be a fascinating battle across the afternoon. Round 5 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Only one to go after this. Things are tightening up. Hayden Padden missed that first round. He's been on the fight back. Ben Hunt stuck his hand up, said, I'm the guy that's going to beat you this year. Had a puncture this morning. Nudged up against a clay berm and rolled the tyre off the rim. So he's dropped some time. He's currently 5th in the NZRC standings, but he's only 24.1 seconds away from 2nd. So that's currently Emma Gilmore, and then you can throw Robbie Stokes and Zeal Jones in there as well. It is so tight. Add to that, this is a long stage, and Ben knows this is one that he's got to attack. We've just come from the service park. We've been talking to all the guys. Ben said this is the one where we've really got to lay a stake in the ground.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a fascinating battle, and we're a little bit, about 6 or 7 kilometres on from where we did the live stream earlier today, live stream. So from that position point where we were, a couple of Ks of tarmac, fairly straight and fast, down to the famous helicopter corner, which is about 4 kilometres up the road from where we are currently. So 4 Ks of gravel stage before this section of corners that you can see via the live stream here from this position. We're getting towards the end of this iconic Manawahe stage, BB.
Absolutely, and remember too, this is the power stage, so there's bonus points on offer. These guys are going to be absolutely trying.
Yeah, I mean, every point now, at this point, given what's happened to Ben, every single point is going to have a profound impact on the championship. So if he can haul back a place, if he can haul back multiple places, it's going to make the championship scenario going into Whangarei, the finale next month, that little bit more in his favour. If he drops an extra power stage point here to someone else, as we saw at Daybreaker 3 weeks ago with Zeal Jones beating him in the power stage, it makes it that little bit harder at Whangarei, to the point where it could even get to a stage where Hayden controls the destiny of the championship.
Absolutely. So you can see on screen to Elevate Digital Assist, they've come on with the NZRC team. Nita Greenland, well known around the rallying community. She's not just your virtual assistant, she's your go-to partner for success. She says, let's team up and make business fun again, and she's been doing that with the NZRC. It's fantastic work behind the scenes to keep everyone up to speed with what's going on social media.
Yeah, just a great job. Goes the extra mile for people too, which is always one of those sort of unwritten things you don't generally see in promotions and advertisements. So great to have her on board. There are too long now before we see the first car on the road, which will be Hayden Paddon in the Hyundai New Zealand I-20 Rally 2 car. So this is special stage 8, as we said, of 12. 4 more stages after this one.
So as we wait for Hayden Paddon to arrive, of course this event doubling up as a round of the North Island Rally Series, as well as the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. And of course we thank Brian Green Property Group. Great to see Greenie out and about having a look today. Had a good chat with him at the service park. Very flash Mercedes he was in too. MRF Tyres, of course, control tyre supplier of the New Zealand Rally Championship, Omega Rental Cars and Cream Insurance.
Yeah, big thanks to those partners who make our championship possible. So interesting little phase of corners here, BB, from the gravel onto the tarmac, a couple of corners with tarmac and then back onto the gravel again. Yeah,
absolutely. Not a whole heap of tarmac to the point where you worry about cooking tyres, as we see Hayden Paddon, Garrett Hudson, and the way they managed to straight line that corner and back onto the gravel, as you can see there, away from us at our live stream point. So famous Rendell Road, as we said earlier this morning, such an iconic stage, Manawahe, and with talking with a lot of the drivers at the service park, they're just absolutely raving about this bit of road. Ranked at number 4.
Just a little bit of dust, as you can see, up to the left-hand side of where the cars are coming from. Minute intervals, not too bad.
Yeah, nothing that I think will concern. Probably looks a little bit worse from our angle where we are physically sitting in the commentary booth here than it does on the road, on the monitor for you.
I mean, the expectation, we obviously had a cracking morning weather-wise. The expectation is there are likely to be some showers. We've had a small sprinkling of rain as we arrived here about half an hour ago at this vantage point. No rain about right as we speak, but it wouldn't surprise if you saw the odd isolated shower. And that'd be a little bit of a factor in the afternoon. Not enough to cause grief, I wouldn't have thought, given the state of the roads.
No, I think the roads are in very, very good nick, and again, chatting with the guys, and particularly Hayden at the service park, as we see Ben Hunt, Tony Rawston, Skoda New Zealand Fabia Rally 2 car, very neat and tidy. Ben, he was convinced he was on a good run first time through. He'd be relieved to have a bit of air in his tyres, both physically and metaphorically.
He didn't. I was really encouraged by the body language of Ben at the service. You know, like, I mean, that has made life a lot more challenging for him. That situation this morning, and you know, without sounding like I'm criticising, I just feel like in times gone by you'd see him a little bit down in the mouth about it. He looked very positive, in control of the situation, confident that he could work himself back into a dominant position here, and you know, and improve his championship scenario.
Yep. Now I have put a watch on this next group of cars because Robbie Stokes is due any second, and
Stokes Motorsport 4 Fiesta, just a few gremlins again causing some issue there, manifold issue.
Looks like
a few other bits and pieces as well, I think, that were troubling Robbie. So
yes, but it looks like Ben Hunt definitely up quite significantly on Robbie Stokes here. Scap well out over a minute 20 seconds and still no sign of Robbie, so we'll see what's going on there. Of course, we're assuming that he got out of service on time. They were replacing a manifold. It's a bit of a job, especially when it's all hot. We're talking exhaust manifold, so I think.
So obviously a significant gap here. This is more than a few seconds of speed. You'd fancy there's either an issue or he just hasn't started on time. So Zeal Jones would be next on the road in the Smith & Son Skoda Fabia R5.
He's had an interesting rally. We've probably seen him a little bit more ragged than we would expect to.
Here is Zeal.
So, no Robbie Stokes. Let's see if we can get you the information on whether he's starting the stage or not. But he heads through, and he was about 5 seconds down on Ben to this point. So, yeah, for Zeal and for Robbie, there's that third place to fight for in the championship too. And you know, if Hayden or Ben has a problem too, then those guys are right back in that fight.
Absolutely they are. And that would make life very interesting, kind of fucking A, if that were to play out. Be any number of contenders back in the mix. I mean, from a Ben Hunt perspective, that's good news, right? He's got a little bit of a buffer on Zeal in the power stage. That was an issue, obviously, at Daybreaker.
Yes.
Yet to see what's happening here with Robbie, whether he's just starting the stage late or whether there has been an issue somewhere.
Robbie is on his way back to service, so obviously that's a real shame. Real shame. As we see Emma Gilmore. She is...
She's had a really good week. Best of you.
Oh, yes, yeah. Absolutely. So, what that does, Robbie Stokes' retirement... well, actually, let's talk about Emma for a second, because she has... She really turned a page. At Daybreaker, you could see that the confidence was coming back. Everything was starting to gel, and then that's really paid dividends here. So she sits second at the moment to Hayden Patton.
That'd be a great result if she can hang on to that spot. Certainly the best result we've seen from her in quite some time. Let's just talk a little bit about that Robbie Stokes scenario as we wait for the next car. Not only is it power stage points, but it's obviously overall.
So Mike Young ahead of Todd Borden on the road, and he is very, very quick. So he's sitting second in the overall New Zealand Rally Championship. But we cannot talk up enough the job that Mike has done. He hasn't been in the car basically since Otago. So we're hearing Stewie Reid has rejoined, but then stopped in this stage as well. So that's a real disappointment for them. Mike, fantastic job from him. With Robbie Stokes going back to service, effectively retiring from the rally, what that does is it pushes Zeal Jones and Ben Hunt up a position in the rally. So Ben now comes to fourth, and that extra point could...
Well, it's twofold. It's the position overall, but it's also that risk of losing a power stage point.
Yes.
So based on what we've seen to this point, it would suggest that Ben's on for 4 power stage points unless something out of the ordinary happens here.
Yes.
So that's that first hurdle out of the way, the power stage scenario. He gets the 4 points he needs there, and it's the free kick to get a spot back. Overall.
And so Patton is through, as we see Todd Borden and Dave Neal, the online contractors, Ford Fiesta. Nice and tidy. Talking to Toddy at the service park, and he's just said it was all about having some fun, getting back into it. Again, he's one that's chasing the Asia Pacific Rally Championship at Whangarei in 5 weeks' time. So for him, a chance to get...
It's a crazy scenario that we find ourselves in with this championship, because Hayden can't really do anything else about it. He's just got to sit there and watch how it plays out behind at this point.
Yes.
I mean, he's got to obviously go out and win the rally and do what he's been doing for the last number of years anyway, but you almost forget about the performance he's putting in. He's just done a 16:24.9 this morning through the same stage, 16:47.8.
Yeah, it's a big improvement. It's a second a kilometre and some.
In terms of how this championship plays out, at the moment, it's almost out of Hayden's hands. He's just got to sit back, do his thing and watch and see what happens behind him.
So we see Hayden Yaris with the 3-cylinder GR power.
had a spin not long before this point on the stage, I'm told, and obviously mobile again as we've seen him here.
Yep, so that was probably not far off where we were live streaming this morning.
Yeah, yep.
I would suggest.
Might have been even at that corner, who would know?
Probably people smarter than you or I.
Probably. Ben Hunt through the stage, 17:01.3, 36.4 seconds down on Hayden Paddon. The next time that we get through will give us the better indicator, a bigger indicator, excuse me.
Yeah, I think the time between Zell and Emma will be very, very interesting, and remembering that number as we see now Phil Campbell around a little, so again running in that North Island, so he's a lot more sideways than everyone else we've seen through the junction.
Phil just a little bit disappointed with his form throughout the morning. A couple of little gremlins in the car as well, but just down on confidence, didn't have the right tyres from what he was telling us, what his team was telling us, so fingers crossed we see that come to him. Another one that hasn't done a heap of driving this year, certainly not the championship.
Oh, and
good peddler.
James McDonald stopped early in the stage, and that's a real shame. He's had a tricky day, broke an axle, and obviously something else has gone awry for James. He's been, for me, one of those guys that's almost, he hasn't flown under the radar because he's put some seriously spectacular results down, but it certainly, I guess, doesn't chase the hero status, and he's been punching well above his weight in the 8.6 Subaru.
Yeah, absolutely. So this would be the gap where Stewie Reid should be, but we believe he may be stopped, so I think we're likely to see Quentin Palmer in the yellow Evo shortly.
He was another one that broke an axle, so he did 2 or 3 stages in that last loop with a broken axle, and does have. That's not Quentin Palmer. That's Stuart Reid. Yeah, great to see Stuart back out. It's great to have him over here and really invested in doing his rallying in New Zealand. We love to have him here.
SR Automotive Mitsubishi Mirage AP4.
Of course, Bella Haggerty co-driving. So got Stewie, who qualifies for the gold card section of the New Zealand Rally Championship, and Bella, who definitely doesn't.
No, the ages average out.
Yeah.
They've hit the median age collectively.
So this should be Quentin Palmer now. So obviously that time off for Stewie wasn't too bad. Nice from Quentin to see the way he just straight lines that corner. Oh, yes, we should have seen the message come through. That's Stuart Reid mobile again. Fantastic insight we get from Chris Grant. Appreciate the efforts in keeping us informed so that we have less opportunities to make complete fools out of ourselves.
Still managed to do that a fair bit, though, to be fair.
That's
only
why
human, they can only do so much.
I chose my words very carefully there.
Caleb McDonald, a couple of the Southerners due up now. Caleb McDonald, Carter Strang back-to-back. Evo 6 for Caleb McDonald, the Evo 10 of Carter Strang.
Yeah, and Caleb certainly adapting to the roads up here really, really well. Carter took a little bit, but Caleb also did Daybreaker, and the roads are very different in nature, North Island to South Island, and then different event to event. So this is a lot more of an open and flowing rally than Daybreaker. It's probably the twistiest, and we see Caleb and Larissa Bigger.
Fucking A, different again. Much more camping roads.
Yeah, absolutely. Whangarei is that very unique nature that they have there. So, and for Larissa, it was a case of she's also chasing the Queensland Rally Championship, which I believe she's actually won before as a co-driver, but chose to come over here and chase the Rally Challenge class.
So Ben Hunt second, Emma Gilmore third, 5.9 seconds back in third, Zeal Jones 0.7 of a second further adrift. So looks like 4 power stage points for Ben Hunt. And what does that do in terms of the overall scheme of things? It means Emma is second, 3 minutes 15 behind Hayden, 9.5 seconds back to Zeal Jones in third, and 8.7 to Ben Hunt. Ben is reeling them in.
Yeah, well, there's still
plenty of stages to go.
4 stages to go. Do not walk away from your computer. As we see Carter Strang, Katrina Flynn. Car, it's almost a homecoming. Of course, the last name was John O'Shapley. He's a Whakatane lad, and that's not too far down the road from where we are now.
Mike Young through, second quickest overall, so they're obviously non-championship contender, but 31 seconds adrift of Padden, but 5.4 quicker than Ben Hunt. So, man, Mike Young is on a charge. That has been a very, very impressive performance from Mike Young on Te Whare Yaris.
Yeah, fantastic to see Mike out, and he's done a lot of his rallying right throughout the Asia Pacific region, and so we haven't necessarily seen the best of Mike in New Zealand, because he is a very, very talented driver.
It'd be great to see him contest the championship at some point in the near future, because he would be a really, really interesting addition to see where he sort of pops into the mix.
Yeah, we saw him for most of last year with the Cusco 2 out of CHR, but it was a bigger car, heavier.
Yeah.
And he did a really, really good job to manage it. But
again, you're not really seeing just how talented he is.
As we see Andy Martin. And Mel Peter. So getting used to the new car, having a couple of issues with throttle and a few things like that have made life a little bit challenging.
James McDonald should have been in this next gap.
Yes, so he stopped just a kilometre in. So the next car we expect to see will be Eugene Crune. To be fair, there's been a little bit of a we'll have a run through too. There's been a little bit of attrition as we go through the field. We passed Jared Parker on the way in here. He was limping his way out of the last stage of the loop with what looked fairly bent rear suspension on the little Corolla. So, in fact, we got no runners in the Rally Challenge two-wheel drive class now.
Yeah,
Pat
both
Norris
around, yeah.
also retired, although he's rejoining for the power stage. So,
no sign of rain. There's all this talk about rain right at the moment where we are, at least in our vantage point. Beautiful sunshine.
Yeah,
Bright
actually
sunshine.
quite warm.
Yeah. Pretty hot and stuffy in the van, just quietly.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that it's probably just as well that there's no camera on. No
one wants to see inside the NZRC commentary position right now.
But of course, we saw Stewie Reid have an issue in the first pass of this stage. That was a broken axle, so they went back to service and had that repaired. We lost Jack Stokes, unfortunately. Looks like he's off the road. Bryn Jones, who we knew about earlier on, that was first thing this morning. Tim Mackesy with a gearbox failure in Manawahe as well. As we now see Eugene Crune. So good to see these guys. They've always got a smile on their face. Love their rallying. Obviously, some horrific scenes back in New Caledonia. Championship-wise, we had Jared Parker, who had also taken a wrong turn, which doesn't help. He got a fair way down the road.
Oops. It should be Jay Pittams that we see next, one of the, I'm calling Bay Plenty Mafia this weekend. And look at the battle here. This is Rally Challenge four-wheel drive. We've talked about Caleb McDonald with a pretty handy lead over Carter Strang, just over 32 seconds or thereabouts. Gavin Feast a further 13.1 back in third. And Andy Martin's only about 13 seconds off him. As Jay Pittams goes past us in the Subaru, Jay Pittams 1.4 behind Andy, so that is neck and neck. There's bugger all in between.
Yeah, and that's
some of those guys. No, the back end of that is all for the minor placings of the Bay Plenty Mafia fighting it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay's had a far better. He had it by his own, or by his co-driver's admission. So James McDonald mobile again.
I think this is in here, I think.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. It's not often you're wrong, Budgie, but I think on this one you might be right. So some other times coming through. Todd Borden, 6th fastest to date, 26 seconds. Back from Zeal Jones through the stage. It's 7/10 of a second faster than Phil Campbell.
So, Gavin Beast, I thought, should be next.
No, Ben Cuban.
Sorry, excuse me. Championship runner.
Ben Cuban and Tony. Ben, we normally see in the championship co-driving with Julian Longley, but decided to pull his own toy out the shed.
So again, good to see a good number of spectators out. Various vantage points. So many good spots to watch, particularly on this stage. Number of junctions. 3 prime spectator points.
Just having a look and doing some maths. Dylan Thompson, he'll be close to elevating himself into the top 5 overall.
Right.
In the championship, as we see Gavin Feast and Matty Hayward. Results continue to be as good as they are, that the first 48 rounds tonight are on Matt.
Dear. Should make it for an interesting evening. Yeah, Dylan Thompson just needs to finish to win the Rally Challenge 2, the NZRC two-wheel drive championship. With Jack having retired and everyone else in that class having issues today. Dylan gets the end, finishes. He's crowned champion yet again.
And I think that would apply to the overall two-wheel drive championship as well.
Another phenomenal season from Dylan Thompson, eh?
Oh, the consistency is just supreme. And I was talking with Susie Jones at the service park, Bryn's mother, and it's just talking about how you think you're getting close to Dylan, and then he just plucks another gear, and he's always got enough. Just getting a text in from Andrew Graves. Appreciate the kind words as we see Brad Stewart, Dougie, our rally challenge leader, and he looking like he will hold that position going into the series finale at Whangarei, not too far away.
Issue for Phil Macquarie in this stage, top 3Ks in.
That's a shame. Another one of the Bay of Plenty Mafia.
And he would be the car that we would have expected to see next, so I think it should be Dylan Thompson in the Ford Fiesta Rally 4.
And good news for you, Dougie, is that... so Robbie Stokes has now started the stage 3 minutes after Julian Longley.
Okay, that could throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah. Let's just... let's start doing all those calculations again, and potentially running that further down Swept Road. We saw that with Jack Hawkswood at Timaru as well. Mm-hmm. So don't dish the points out just yet, Budgie.
No, I think it's fair to say that Ben's going to get 3 points at least.
Yes.
Can't see anyone else realistically challenging that, so Robbie could take one more off him.
Good news for Dougie was I did actually see your car. His car is here at Tauranga because it came up with the Padden group on the transporter. And even better news was it was sitting stationary, Dougie. No one was out road testing it for you or anything like that. It's all safe and sound as we see Dylan and Baden Thompson, the sole surviving NZRC two-wheel drive car this week. Just dipped it in the... probably just sort of 10 or 20 centimetres further over than he wanted to be. Bryn Jones is running again and will be chasing those power stage points, but I do not expect to see either Jack Stokes or Tim Mackesy back out. So it's power stage points, and for Bryn it's been one of those years, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It can be a cruel sport.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
Yeah, had
position for Dylan to be in the power stage here.
Yeah.
Nothing really to gain. All he has to do is hold his position, and he's crowned champion again. Does he back it off a little bit and potentially open the door for Bryn to get some power stage points or power stage win?
Did talk about that with him at the service park, and basically the short answer to that is no, because when you back off, you run that risk of losing concentration. We've seen it so many times in rallying. You build a good lead, you back it off a bit, try to decrease the risk, and end up just doing something silly. So, he's doing what he needs to do, just drive it down the middle of the road fairly quickly. So this, of course, should be Jack Stokes, but it won't be. Real shame for Jack, because he's been one of the finds of the 2024 Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. The speed he's been able to extract out of a car which is not to the same spec as the Rally 4 cars he's competing against. Some of the times he's put up have been phenomenal, and like we know Dylan Thompson is a solid benchmark in this class. All of these guys are going really fast.
So I think Bryn Jones should be the next car we see, assuming he has restarted in order.
Yeah, he was in order because he rejoined after the first service, so obviously we'd seen him again.
So it should be him in the Full Fiesta Rally 2 car. And then we'll see Tim Mackesy, so it might be Jones and then Jones in order here. There's Lana Stern. Dad Anthony in the Ford Escort.
Oh, did you say Ford Escort?
I did say Ford Escort.
Oh, I do like a Ford Escort. A little bit of radio silence here.
So obviously the gap for Jack, but they're not.
There he is.
There's Bryn.
A distinctive three-cylinder sound in the turbo wastegate chatter. And yes, as you say, right behind him should be Dad and sister. Kindly stopped to pull him out in special stage 2.
You're only going to see one Escort in a row because Dan Haynes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Last time I saw that, it was on its side, unfortunately.
Yeah, somewhat uncharacteristic for Hainesy. Normally a fairly safe and reliable pair of hands.
Hope it hasn't wrecked those rims.
Coat of paint will fix it, mate.
I do like those rims.
The old blue, the throwback rims, the blue rims, is made famous in about 1978, 79.
So it might only be about 3 or 4 cars away from seeing Robbie Stokes on stage.
Yeah, that math stacks up. Yep, so just getting confirmation that the next car we see will be Anthony Jones. Zoe Jones, beautiful BDA Escort. And, he's been fighting his way back up after. Here it is, I can hear it. Name me a better soundtrack in rally. Go on, I challenge you. I absolutely challenge you.
So I think he's made his way back to the top of the historic leaderboard, has he not?
Yes. By 22 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's overhauled Paul Fraser. By the way, if you did nominate anything else that was a better sound than a BDA Escort, sorry, you're wrong.
Okay.
Just saying. Just saying. It'll be interesting to see what the makeup of that class is like next year too.
Whisper, the drums are beating that there are going to be not just 1 or 2 new entrants, but a number of them.
Returning.
You're returning young names that have done a great job in the past year, especially Julian Longley.
Jenny Blair co-driving for Julian this weekend. Of course, our sole Vanuatu representative this weekend. So,
yeah, does sound like we're going to see a much more competitive historic class next year, which is very exciting.
And taking nothing away from both Paul Fraser and from
1 minute gap between Longley.
3 minute gap.
It is a 3 minute gap, is it?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Yep. So the one we know is coming is Anthony Jones. Sorry, not Anthony Jones. Andy Martin. So he's chucked his hat in the ring for next year. BDA Escort that he's had built and will use in the Silver Fern.
We've heard some whispers. Shane Merlin.
Yeah. Yep. Had a few.
Dean Buist.
Yep.
I keep throwing names here.
Yeah. I've been having some conversations. You're
not giving me a whole lot. Regan Ross. Marcus Van Klink. Any others? Am I missing anyone?
Tim McIver, Johnny Silcock.
Yeah. Johnny Silcock, yeah. Yes,
there's some good cars floating around that just need to come out the shed.
Geez, imagine all those names together in a class.
Oh. Charlie Evans with the RX-7.
Charlie Evans, we're going to see him shortly.
We will. We will indeed. So, and of course Charlie, the organiser of the Waitomo rally in a couple of weeks, and great to see competitors who put their money and their time where their mouth is and put events on, because it's no easy task. Huge shout out to everyone that makes these events happen. It is literally hundreds of people at every event.
Here's Robbie.
Stokes. Looks like he's well and truly on the chart.
He's got anti-lags, that's a start.
Yes. James McDonald is clear of the end of the stage now as well. So Robbie was telling us last night he's not one to give up. If he can be on the stages, he'll be on the stages. He said he almost felt like he was making a pile of excuses when we spoke to him at the service park with just issues, which is frustrating. And he's been able to show us what he is capable of, and what he's capable of is pretty spectacular. So we will wait for that time to come through, of course.
17:013, 17 minutes 1.3 seconds. The time for him
for Ben Hunt
to beat Ben Hunt and have an impact on that championship battle. So some more time through. Let's go and have a quick look at the Rally Challenge four-wheel drive class. Caleb McDonald, 0.2 of a second faster than Carter Strang. Those two have been neck and neck. Andy Martin, further 8.3 seconds back. I think I've got that wrong, actually. I'll try that again. So Caleb McDonald, 8.3 seconds faster than Carter Strang. Andy Martin, 13.4 back. Then Jay Pittham's 2.6. And you have to go back around about 8 seconds. So Gavin Feast has just dropped a little bit of time in there to his rivals.
So that gap now between Gav and Andy, who are very, very good mates, 2.3 seconds.
There you go. There's quite a number of beers on the in the offing for whoever triumphs in that little head-to-head battle.
Of course, Matt Hayward, who's co-driving with Gavin Feast, he's got a foot in both camps, co-driving with Andy Martin in the Escort on the Silver Fern. And he's been a long time co-driver of Andy's.
My guess is it's going to cost him some beers, whatever happens.
Yeah.
You own the bar.
Yeah. Maddie's pub we're at Bruco tonight. So if you're in the area and feeling thirsty and want to see some of the rock stars,
can we have a chat to a few of the drivers?
That's
BB, you'll be there. Got your zebra shirt?
No, that's shrunk in the wash a little bit.
I've heard that one before. I've used that one before.
So,
Andrew Elder, is it?
Yeah, Andrew Elder, Mitsubishi Evo 4. So it's the ex-Malcolm Stewart car. Done in the memory of Malcolm and Mike Fletcher as well, long-time co-driver. Two gentlemen who left us far too soon, unfortunately, but great that Sue Stewart and the rest of the team have been able to still come together and pull one of the cars out of the shed and see it all happen. Of course, the car that we see Anthony Jones in this weekend was Malcolm's 1981 New Zealand Championship winning Ford Escort, and probably Malcolm was most famous for his time in that glorious Audi Quattro, which actually rolled in this stage in the hands of Hanu Mikula in the early 1980s. now lives at the Oamaru Auto Collection. Fantastic bit of history to have in New Zealand. Very special to have a proper works rally car. There's a few of them floating around.
We were talking about Dylan Thompson and that battle with Bryn Jones. Would he lift off as we...
Cohen Leon and Nathan Rower, another one of the North Island Rally Series competitors, and back on the stages after a fairly big rebuild.
So Bryn Jones, second quickest to Dylan Thompson in there by around about 11 seconds.
Yep.
So that was our answer. Dylan did not back it off.
No. Probably not unexpected.
I wouldn't have expected anything less, to be fair. Special Stage 9 underway, the Pongakawa 2 stage. Hayden Padden in Special Stage 9. In fact, Hayden's just cleared the stage, thank you.
My heart skipped a little beat there when I saw Hayden and then a word starting with C, and I thought, what? So,
safely through, and 11.4 seconds quicker than Ben Hunt. 4:23.9 for Hayden, 4:35.3 for Ben.
Of course, for Hayden, he's got a busy day. He's got a few corporate rides, but then tomorrow night, straight on the plane over to Poland for that final round of the European Rally Championship, which he's in the box seat to wrap up. So he's got the potential at Whangarei to be fighting for the Asia Pacific Rally Championship as well as the New Zealand Rally Championship. So could be a fairly stacked trophy cabinet by the
well, it's
end of
already
the year.
pretty chocker, but champion of Europe, champion of Asia Pacific, champion of New Zealand, all potentially in the 1 year. Might be on up at Aussie Rally Championship.
Yes, I've heard some rumours. Jeez, Parker. One of the team, great to see him out competing. One of the team of people that have pulled this event together.
Zeal Jones out of stage 9. Third quickest so far, 6.9 adrift to Ben Hunt in second. So Ben continues to take some time out of Zeal. That gap 1.8 seconds overall now. So Ben right on the charges. We see Lucas Ramsey coming into shot here.
Absolutely giving it everything in there. The little R2 Fiesta making it scream.
He is biffing around, all right. So Anthony Torito would be next.
Yeah, although we saw him coming into the service park early, although I haven't seen him as an official retirement, so I'm putting a foot in both camps there. Probably leaning more towards not.
So maybe it's the Sean and Hayley Wade in the Mirage.
Father-daughter team.
Emma Gilmore edging Zeal Jones in that stage. 3.9 seconds slower than Hunt, but 3 seconds quicker than Zeal. So again, in terms of the overall scenario there, that gap between Emma and Zeal is out to 12.5 seconds.
Charlie Evans stopped 8Ks into the stage as well, so crikey.
So Ben Hunt is now, let me do some quick math, 14.3 seconds off second place.
Hayley Wade
14.3 seconds, BB.
14.3
Reeled them in.
Yep. So what have we got to go?
Charlie Evans unfortunately stopping, you might have just said that, Charlie Evans stopping the stage, which is disappointing.
I'm glad you listened to me.
I was trying to do some math. Pukekohe High School education is somewhat limited.
I could smell the smoke. So 3 short stages remaining. 11.67 kilometres of number 2 road, which is the reverse of special stage number 2 this morning. Then they go into the Tech Park, which is really a stage for the spectators. It was originally scheduled to be 6.6 Ks. Unfortunately, the autocross track at the end, which is fairly clay base with the heavy rain during the week, they've now shortened that stage ever so slightly. As we see Dave Strong and Rob Scott. Somewhat ludicrous. Honda Jazz.
The whole definition of the word ludicrous is that it's pretty out there. Not sure you can be halfway out there.
So it should be Amy Keeley up next and then Caden Wood. But So basically the short answer is there's about 23 kilometres left. So
It's not a heap of stage, but enough for Ben to reel that gap in.
and they're all short, sharp stages where if you don't get into a rhythm early on, you can drop 3 or 4 seconds. You know, a stall off a start line is probably more costly in a short stage because there's less.
Yeah, Tech Park, you're maybe not going to reel in a whole lot of time, but you can easily drop some time. So
Oh, there's some tricky bits in there. Yeah, like any forestry stage, there's lots of risk, lots of. You probably can't talk up enough as we see Amy Keeley and Grant Mara. She's been battling her brother in the all-comers 8-6 class this weekend. I think Josh had the upper hand early this morning, and if I can find the right screen here, I'll tell you. That he is extending that lead out to 1 minute and 16 seconds. So very impressive from the younger brother, because Amy's speed's definitely been improving across the course of the year as well.
right, completed stage time for Robbie Stokes in this special stage 8. He was third quickest of the championship competitors.
Whoa.
Drops in just behind Ben Hunt, 4.7 seconds off Ben Hunt's time. So 4 power stage points to Ben Hunt, 5 of them, of course, to Hayden Padden. Ben breathes a big sigh of relief.
I think we can fairly comfortably pay them out at 3 to Stokes, 2 to Gilmore and 1 to Zeal Jones. So all of a sudden Emma Gilmore's going to be starting to just be knocking on the door of Zeal Jones, who's just knocking on the door of Robbie Stokes for that 3rd place in the championship. You know, they still hand out trophies for 3rd. It's not quite the one everyone wants, but
Still a trophy.
there's only 2 people doing better. We see Caden Wood getting the power down in the Nissan Skyline. We'll see Dad Ian a little bit later, but he had a problem with a radiator hose. He is back in the rally. This morning's startless now getting trickier and trickier to follow, isn't it? Which Caden should have been in front of Adrian Smith as well as behind Adrian Smith as well as Jared Parker. We know Jared Parker now running at the back of the field. Saw him crabbing down the road.
So from special stage 9, this is the next one after where we are positioned. Pongakawa 2, Hayden Padden quickest through, 11.4 seconds quicker than Ben Hunt. Hunt edging Mike Young in that one, 3.3 seconds back in 3rd place. This is in the all-comers overall rally. Emma Gilmore 0.6 of a second after that, and then 3 seconds to Zeal Jones.
So that's Adrian Smith and that beautiful sounding BDA Escort. Pushing on hard. And we should see Willie Hawes as the next car. Of course, for Willie sitting second in that open 2-wheel drive battle behind Dave Strong, but just banking those points. Murray Percival in 3rd. We saw him having a few issues the first run through this stage. Caught and passed by the RX-7 of Andrew Tressida. Certainly getting warmer here. It's brewing. The humidity's up as we see Willie Hawes and Jason Dwyer. Jason was confirmed as the Open 2-Wheel Drive Co-Driver Championship when the entry list was released, and Carol Liston was not on there. She did 2 of the rounds so far with Dave Strong. Rob Scott doing the other 3. It's good when you've got a couple of high-quality co-drivers you can slot in and out.
So Steve Cox, Laurie Brenzel, 2-3 next in the Toyota Starlet. And Josh Keeley. Working our way towards the last handful of cars. There's been a few retirements at the bottom part of the field.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a rally of attrition. So
We haven't had much of that this year, to be fair. The attrition rate's been pretty good.
what are we, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 on the list to date. A couple of those have rejoined us, but a bit of a mortality rate in there. As we see Steve Cox and Laurie Brensel. Mighty 1300cc power plant. Yeah, it was an interesting approach to the tarmac there. Had the front tyres well leaned over, and gravel tyres on tarmac, they don't last. I mean, it's only a very, very short stretch of tarmac here, but they've come off, and Ben said to us, where he had his tyre come off the rim this morning was just coming off the tarmac onto the gravel, and just nudged a berm that the grader had left as they do, and was able to roll that tyre off the rim. So as we see Josh King went around, he goes, oh, got it back, good boy. Some suggestions that was probably more Father Andrew's line than Amy's line. I only passed that message on, I'll point out.
So I think Ian Wood, the Toyota Corolla, will slot in here.
Been a shame for him. He's always been very, very quick, one of the local lads, and one of those cars, lots of horsepower, rear-wheel drive. Of course, if you are in the Tauranga Mount Maunganui area and you want to see the rally cars, the Classic Flyers Cafe up by the airport is where the finish ceremony will be. That is Ian Wood. No shortage of commitment from the Diggs Corolla there. I think that car originally was a Daniel Alexander car, to be honest with you. Going back a fair way. The tip is that there's a fair bit of inter-family rivalry there between Ian and Caden. There's a few family battles in there. We've got the Joneses, which...
A couple of lots of Joneses too. It's very confusing. Zeal Kingsley not running, obviously, but the Zeal Kingsley Waverley connection.
Yeah, if we're talking the Cambridge bunch, that one's going in the favour of Anthony this weekend. So far, the Keeleys, the brother-sister rivalry, which I'm sure is probably the most competitive of the lot. We've got the Woods.
It should be Mazda RX-7, I think.
Yeah, Greg Kilworth, I believe, should be the next car into the stage. Well, they're all well and truly into the stage by now.
Just a little bit of a gap here.
Yes, and as pointed out to us by Chris Grant, there's 2 Z Joneses in the rally today, so that's a confusing one for everyone.
Caught my father out last night. Couldn't understand why Zeal Jones was co-driving. Oh no, that's Zoe Jones. Wow, 2 Z Joneses.
I can't imagine that Zeal would make a great co-driver, to be honest with you. Most drivers don't.
A lot of Jones is a pretty common surname, to be fair, but I don't know you have that many Z Joneses.
I know a couple. So this is Greg Kilworth. 13B Turbo. RX-7. B wide body kit on it. Spectacular looking cars.
So next car we should see the Nissan Pulsar of Stephen Dill, Adrian Sutton.
Just I think Stephen and Adrian doing that North Island Rally Series, and great cost-effective way to get into rallying. And there is the little Nissan Pulsar. Seen a few of those pedalled fairly quickly in this country, the likes of Kane Barry, David Wright, Reg Cook, and then Shane Watkin in the later shaped car as well.
So, the historic two-wheel drive class championship leader, Paul Fraser, about to get to our vantage points in the Sport Escort.
Of course, the Massport lookalike car. Fantastic to see, and with the spotlights on the front as well, just completing that very period-looking
79 Rally New Zealand.
Yep.
Tribute livery.
Hanu Mikula winning.
There's three cars painted that way.
So it was actually, we were looking back over a thread that explains the history of the Massport cars and the Mark IIs. So that was LA 780, which was never a Massport car in period. It's actually a Rosendale car for a while.
Right.
So we're hearing it was a drivetrain problem for Phil Macquarie, so that's a real shame for him. Didn't see his best at the Daybreaker when he suffered a puncture.
So it should be another Escort in the form of Murray Percival.
It was a thread on Facebook a little while back with a lot of conversation around the history of the famous IF 780, which now made its way into the hands of Dean Buist, name that we know, and of course MRF tyre dealer for New Zealand through his Palmside business.
It would work for a crack at the historic championship next year, just say.
Yeah, just saying, Dean. I know he's actually around. Saw him at the service park. Was having a chat to him earlier on. So yeah, a lot of controversial subject, shall we say, in terms of what's been reshelled and what ended up with these number plates and that number plates and which cars where. So, and then what's been reshelled again. It's a gearbox for Phil Macquarie, so that's not ideal.
No, not ideal. As we wait for Murray and Cole Percival.
This is the Whole Bay powered Escort.
There might only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars to come. Hearing Jared Parker will start. He'll be the last car on the road.
Be interesting to see if the team's been able to sort out that rear suspension, because it was quite the sight to see coming down the road. So, weren't sure if he was coming for us. Did give us a friendly wave. One of the real nice guys at the service park.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
he? Always got a smile on his face and a good sporting lad, as we see Murray and Cole Percival. Speaking of good sporting lads, still struggling to get that Whole Bay just 100% clean running. So Gavin Feast took a little bit of time out of Andy Martin in that last stage.
So I think we should be seeing Nick Flanagan in the Peugeot 205, little Peugeot 205 very shortly.
Yeah, great little car, the 205, very popular up in the UK in the period, but not something we saw a heap of. First car I ever went for a ride in was a 205, but it was probably the the big brother, the T16. He's very, very lucky to go for a ride with PJ, who turned into my boss. And I hope you're watching at home, boss.
He's working hard, I promise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you believe he hasn't eaten since breakfast?
Would you believe that Dale Budge has?
No, I haven't. I have not. I tried to.
I actually had a couple of hot chips. Adam Bly walked in before. And,
Oh, so you've actually had more than I have then today.
Yes, I have.
Yep.
I have.
Okay.
To be fair, I take a bit more fueling than you, Budgie.
Yeah, maybe, just.
So, of course, we'll take the opportunity to thank Brian.
It doesn't look like we will see the
No,
Peugeot.
no, it's a photo of that looking broken.
So, I think we should see Pat Norris next. Twitter Yaris.
Clutch we're hearing on the 205.
Ah, bugger.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they would have said too.
Maybe slightly more descriptive than that, with a bit more passion.
We don't need to talk about that.
So Flanagan stopped as well, I believe.
Yeah, he's stopped with a clutch issue. So, yeah, just a handful of cars to come. Should be Pat Norris, Mike Cameron and Jared Parker. So, little Toyota Vitz.
Or was it Yaris?
Or is it Nico?
It could be one of the three.
Entry list says
Yaris.
Yaris. We'll go with that.
I know these things because I wrote the pre-event thing, and you probably told me I was wrong.
Probably. So Adam's just going past if you want to ask him if he's still got some chips for you.
I did see him walking in there with the hot chips, and I think they were little bits of cut-up sausage.
Yeah, they were. They were.
They were pretty tasty. So just waiting for the last couple of cars. Fascinating afternoon. You want to check out Chris Sport to see how this plays out. Ben Hunt trying to chase down a couple of spots. That championship battle in his control as we see Pat Norris.
Taking it easy there on the tarmac. Didn't quite get to the bottom of what the problem was for him, but a shame.
And that just leaves Jared Parker
And Mike Cameron.
and Mike Cameron, who's right here. Mike and Helen Cameron might be on Pat shortly.
Still got that,
It doesn't
that misfire.
sound, it doesn't sound anywhere near like it should.
Had that most of the day, but he's soldiering on. So it should just be Jared Parker and Cole Shears to come through. Of course, we'll take the opportunity to thank Brian Green Property Group, MRF Tyres, Omega Rental Cars, Cream Insurance. That's our sponsors of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship here at the Battery Town Rally Bay of Plenty.
So just waiting on Jared Parker.
Jared Parker. So yeah, just waiting on Jared and Cole. But yeah, been a bit of their trip through the South Island was almost flawless, and
Yeah, been a great run, and then all of a sudden they've hit the hiccups in the North Island.
so they'll be wanting to get those out of the way before
So the lead cars,
here they come, and they are just cruising by the looks of it, just making sure that they can get through the stage and bank some power stage points.
so the lead cars have finished special stage 9. 3 stages to go for the likes of Hayden Padd and Ben Hunt, and the rest of the field. 3:25, number 2 road gets underway, special stage 10. Tech Park at 3:48 and the final stage, Taumata 2, getting underway at 11 minutes past 4. Thanks for your company. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Check out the results on the Chris Sport for the rest of the afternoon. We'll have updates, some of the graphics on the New Zealand Rally Championship Facebook page, and full wrap at the end of the day. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Let's be honest. You want to rent a car from someone who'll see you right. So here's a few reasons to put Omega Rental Cars top of your list. Do we have a modern fleet, all fully checked and ready to roll?
Yes, we do.
Do we offer keen prices, unlimited Ks, and free additional drivers?
Yes, you do.
And do we support New Zealand motorsport because we love cars? And maybe to look a bit flash.
Yes, you do.
There you go. Omega Rental Cars, your upfront and honest car rental company.